Now we're going to load the labels on the machine. So first we remove one of the 1-inch collars off the rod and the spring. Then we're going to install a roll guide, then a core insert with the flange facing the roll guide. Then we can install a roll of labels, then another core insert, the remaining roll guide, the spring, and then the remaining 1-inch collar. Now we're going to line up the notches in the bottom of the roll guides with the 1/2-inch chrome rod on the bottom of the machine. Then we're going to line up the end of the roll holder rod with the notch in the left side frame, then the right side frame. Okay, to change the position of the labels on the machine, you can loosen both thumb screws, one on each collar. You can move it left or right, but it is important to make sure you keep the labels within the knurled portion of the chrome roller in front. Once you get the labels in the correct position, you lock the collar without the spring first, then collapse the spring about 1/4 of its original length and lock that collar. This applies a little bit of tension to the roll. Now whenever we thread the labels through the machine, we want to make sure that they're facing down and coming off the bottom of the roll, just like this. Now to demonstrate the path that the labels are going to have to follow, we're going to remove the table. To do that, we're going to rotate the table lock towards the front of the machine and slide the dispensing table to the left. Then we're going to lift the right side of the dispensing table, and it will be snug, and we're going to slowly wiggle it back and forth while lifting up on the right side and pulling to the right side of the machine, and it will lift up and away from the slot on the left. Now as you can see, underneath the dispensing table we have a hold down plate. The path of the labels need to go under the feed roller assembly, over the hold down plate, and through the front of the machine. So you can do this without removing the dispensing table. You just have to remember that it's very important that backing paper does go over the top of the hold down plate, the silver plate here, and in between that and the dispensing table. To reinstall the dispensing table, we're going to go to the left side of the machine, and we're going to slide this down and through the slot in the left-hand side of the machine. As we do that, we're going to drop it down on the right side, and then we're going to rotate the table lock towards the front to allow the table to come through the left side frame. Once the table is resting against the hold down plate, on the right side of the machine, we're going to feed this table back through that slot, make sure it's seated all the way to the right side, and it should lock into place by the table lock, again returning to the downward position. Now we're going to thread the labels over the top of the dispensing table and between the feed roller assembly. So we're going to lift this up in the air, then we're going to feed the labels up and over the roll, and then we're going to just gently pull the labels through the machine until we see a label start to dispense at the edge of the table. Once we see that label start to dispense, then we're going to lock the feed roller into position. It is very important to remember to lock the feed roller. If you do not lock it, it will wear out your rubber roller. It will function for a while, but eventually the roller will wear out. So we're going to do this again. Lock it into position. It'll snap just like that. Here's another view of locking the feed roller into position. You'll know it's locked into position whenever the aluminum block touches the spring pin that it rests against. Once you have the machine threaded, we're going to turn the machine on and be ready to catch the label, because one's going to feed out, then we're going to press the foot switch. When you do this, one label should feed out and then stop. Unless you have a 2-label machine as shown here. If it's on 2 labels, it will automatically dispense 2 labels. So we're going to press the foot switch again. There's label 1 and there's label 2.